Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Peter here and Teddy is there and we're about to go for a walk. I'm going to take him somewhere a little bit different today. It's not very far from where I live, only 5 minutes up the road really, but it's so pretty and there's just acres and acres of really like wild untouched land, and I thought it would be cool for you guys to see how pretty it is there and where I walk Teddy now and again. So we're going to set off now. It's actually quite warm today, so it should be a good little walk. Let's go. Today we're looking at the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and this one is called Aqua Vitae Forte. The opening of this fragrance is actually really nice. It opens up with some citruses. You get like mandarin orange, but mainly I get kind of like a dirty lemon, almost like the rind of a lemon, but it's mixed with these spices. You have cardamom and cinnamon. The cinnamon comes out more after about 3 to 4 minutes, and at that point it actually reminds me of like a gingerbread man, like a cookie, like a gingerbread cookie. I don't know why. It must be the cinnamon that's with the citruses that just remind me of like a bakery with gingerbread men. But it's a really nice introduction to the fragrance. So it opens up fresh and citrusy at the same time as being spicy and warm, which is quite a nice mix actually. It works really well. After about the 10-minute mark, the cinnamon and the citruses are sort of toning down and this ylang-ylang note comes out, and I actually really like the note of ylang-ylang. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's very smooth. It always reminds me, it just gives this rounded, smooth edge to the fragrance that it's in. And it's really nice. It's slightly sweet and really hard to explain what it smells of really, but it's just warming, slightly sweet and very soft, and just gives like a blanket around the fragrance and holds everything together. In the mid of the fragrance is mainly this ylang-ylang note, but there's kind of like a floral feel. I don't know if that's the orange blossom in the mid, I'm not quite sure, but it's nice. It's very smooth, it's very clean, it's very fresh. After that time, the initial 10 minutes or so, once you're into that ylang-ylang kind of feel, that drags on now for the whole of the fragrance pretty much. I would say around the 3 to 4 hour mark you kind of notice more of the blonde woods. You have sandalwood in here and it does come out a little bit more in the dry down. What this fragrance reminds me of at this point, sort of the whole of the mid of the fragrance and the dry down, kind of has this cream feel. What I mean by that, it smells like a hand cream, like a moisturizer, like a scented lotion. that's the feel that it gives me. It's very smooth and clean smelling and creamy. That's the main thing, is a creamy smelling fragrance. And it reminds me of just like an expensive luxury hand moisturizer or something, like a skin lotion that's lightly scented. That's the general feel that this fragrance gives to me for pretty much the whole duration, with just a nice introduction of those spices with the gingerbread kind of feel. In terms of performance for this fragrance, I was actually a little bit disappointed. It doesn't really project on me very well. Maybe it's just my skin chemistry, I do have bad luck sometimes. The longevity was only about 6 hours on my skin, and the projection was honestly quite weak. I would say it didn't project more than sort of 45 minutes, and that was still a soft projection. It just doesn't really work on my skin, and I was a little bit disappointed with the general performance of this one. Kind of expected a little more from a Kurkdjian fragrance just because of the price being so expensive. You do expect a certain amount from them. It doesn't quite deliver on my skin, at least. You guys might have better luck. I would suggest sampling it yourself and getting a good feel for it yourself. You know, everyone's skin is different. For me, it just doesn't really work, and because of that, I don't think it's worth the money. From my point of view, it's not something I would spend money on because I don't feel like I'm getting enough in return. It is quite nice, but it just definitely smells feminine because of this hand cream, hand lotion kind of feel that it has through like the whole of the fragrance. It doesn't really develop a whole lot. You do get a little bit more sandalwood notes coming through in the very end of the fragrance at the base, but it still just smells like a hand cream. Not something that I would buy myself. And I do think it is definitely unisex, but it would be better on a woman just because of that hand lotion feel. I do think it would work a lot better on a woman. Fragrance was listed on the men's section of the website. I don't know if it's also listed on the women's, but if you're a woman watching this, don't be afraid to check this one out. I do think it's definitely more feminine than masculine. So to wrap it up, basically the opening is dirty lemon mandarin with cinnamon. It smells like a gingerbread cookie, like a bakery, turning into an ylang-ylang note with some kind of floral feel, with a little bit of sandalwood in the base, and overall it kind of smells like a hand cream, like a lightly scented luxury floral hand cream for women. A little bit overpriced for me personally. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again next time, guys. Bye.